Hey everyone, welcome to another game with VitaLetum, and I am your commentator, of course, VitaLetum, and our vision is Phoenix, and Phoenix will be helping me out trying to go through the tabs, and I apologize for the lag spikes from before, but blame it all on Phoenix, alright? Not my fault. He'll probably be mad about that, but oh well.
SCV ready.
So moving on. This is a TVP, and it should be quite interesting to see on this map because, I mean, this is the ladder map, of course, but I was actually trying something out, and one thing that I really liked is that taking a fast third base, even against an one base all-in Protoss or a fast third Protoss, it pretty much seems pretty safe and pretty easy to do. So looking around now, I'm going to be sending it to close positions, just trying to see if I needed to put down that extra bunker, or if I'm going to need a couple extra marine production a little bit sooner than that standard 22s supply. You put down the 2 bunkers. Sometimes if I see it close, I'll put down that command center and immediately try to put down another barracks, just so I can get a couple more marines out, or even some marauders if I notice a heavy stalker count. And moving around, checking still haven't seen too much. I think I've seen a probe, but just going up there just in case he decided to do a 12 scout. Typically a lot of Protosses like doing a 9 scout. Not sure as to why. I mean, yes, Jesus can be scary, but I mean, 12 scout I think scouts just as much information, if not it scouts more information. But yeah, you can kind of be annoying with that probe if you do such an early scout, and that's something that's kind of nice to do. Takes a SCV off the mineral line and really puts down the mineral income, at least early on. But he was not controlling his probe very well, and I was able to take that out quite easily. I am moving my SCV up into his base right now, as well as starting my first marine, getting my orbital now. I am going to be doing a gasless expand, and I feel this is really safe, but can be punishable by Protoss, so you really kind of have to know what they're doing. Especially a Stargate all-in can be kind of scary because you just don't have the marine count to deal with that void ray. Or if they go for that 4-gate or even a 3-gate robo all-in and just target down that bunker, if you're not active on the map knowing when this is coming, even the bunker can fall down pretty quickly, and that's why typically you want to put up those 2 to 3 bunkers instead if you can tell if that's coming or not. Continuing on, making more marines, constant marine production and SCVs. I have noticed that a lot of people will like to put that command center down before that second supply depot, but that will force you to either stop making SCVs or stop making marines, and I don't like that. I want to be able to make both because that really makes you safe against that early zealot stalker push if they decide to do that. From what I scouted, I figured that he will be going for a 1-gate expand, which is pretty standard, and yeah, looking at his money, he definitely did that. Well, I guess not. No, he didn't. Yes, no, he did. Production tab is showing it now. So, just making sure that I don't get supply blocks, so on and so forth, getting those barracks down. Haven't gotten gas quite yet. There goes right now. Pretty standard timing on everything. This is going to be a really nice macro game, just to kind of show just completely solid play in macro can really put you ahead in a lot of situations. And I'm going to be staying on 1 gas in this game for quite a while because I want to get that 3rd orbital pretty quickly, and that's not necessarily to take my 3rd right away, but I want it for the extra income that mules give me. And yes, that's going to mine out my base a little bit faster, so that is going to eventually initiate me to push, because I want to take that 3rd and that 4th. I want to start making that 4th base around the time that I take my 3rd, simply because I will be mining out my base considerably faster, simply because I am going to keep that 3rd orbital in my base for a little bit longer, due to the mule mechanic. So I am getting my tech lab now. I'm going to be working on combat shields right away. A lot of people I've also seen likes to get stim first. And in honesty, I don't like getting stim first. I feel like getting stim is just really dangerous, and if they do decide to push, you kind of have weak Marines that almost have stim, and halfway through the push you finally get stim, but by then your Marines are already weak and you're already over stemming, and it's not a pretty sight. I don't like doing it. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like the transition is just kind of dirty and sloppy, and combat shield, I think, is just that natural progression, and really easily goes into stim following that, making my units a lot more effective throughout the early game to mid game. Going ahead and starting to wall off that front there, and typically you don't see that against Protoss, you more so see it against Zerg, but more often than not now, in the metagame at least, Protosses are going really zealot heavy, and because of that melee force and how much damage they soak up, I want something in the front to soak up that damage. That kind of gives me a buffer from their zealots, a 400 hit points, and that's just invaluable in situations like that, especially in a push. And you do see that my command center went down. I am going up to 5 barracks now, and I am getting my engineering bay. I want to start working on upgrades before I even get my factory down. And that's because I want to make my Bioforce, which is going to have a lot of Marines and Marauders coming soon. I want to make sure I have a lot of units because I won't have those medevacs. And I want to make sure that I have them really efficient, which is why I would be getting that +1 upgrade. And another reason for that is I don't like getting the factory right afterwards, is because I really don't want to dedicate too many of my scans to finding out the possibility if he's going DT tech. I just want to throw up that 1 turret. It's okay if I throw up that 1 turret, no more than that, just 100 minerals, and yeah, that can be a lot, and every mineral counts typically, but I really want to make sure that I'm safe. I really want to make sure that I can macro up and use as many minerals as possible, because as I said before, because due to the fact that I'm taking that expansion so late, I want to set myself to go ahead and do a timing attack. And as you can see, stim and +1 is getting done. I should have started stim first because +1 finishes just slightly faster. I think it's exactly 10 seconds faster. Now that I have a lot of Marines out there and there hasn't been a Void Ray all-in, I'm going to start adding Marauders into my production. I went 3 tech labs before I got the 2 reactors on my barracks, or I got them all at the same time, and that's really catch up on my Marauder production because there wasn't a Void Ray all-in. And pretty soon here, I think I'm going to set myself up to start knocking down those rocks in my 3rd. I'm going to start adding on a starport in the near future, as well, or a factory, and then a starport in the near future. There it goes down. And I'm going to, because my factory was so late, and therefore my starport's going to be really late, I'm going to work my way up to 2 starports, because if he does decide to go Colossus tech, that's going to be extremely hard to deal with, especially if because I haven't done any damage. I haven't been able to kill any sentries. I mean, he could have a lot of sentries at the moment, and if he goes high Templar tech, that's also going to allow me to catch up in the medevacs, because I decided to devote myself to getting that 3rd base really quickly, as well as getting a lot of units. Now, looking back at everyone's cam, I believe he had already taken a 3rd base. Phoenix, if you could check that for me really quick.
This better be good.
Phoenix. Yes, he did take a 3rd, and he's had that for quite a while. So I'm actually pretty fearful at the moment. That's something that I don't want to know. Because I don't know that, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That is something that's really scary because I devoted so much time in defending a timing attack off a 2 base, which happens oh so often, just for him to have a 3rd base, and I didn't do anything about it. I didn't pressure, and I didn't take a 4th base or anything like that. That sucks. That really sucks. I mean, that means that my build order was really blind. I mean, I haven't been scouting all games. It's something that I definitely need to work on, and was really poorly executed on my part. And due to that, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna be behind. Even though I'm ahead in supply, he's gonna get ahead pretty quickly. And Protosses, I think, can actually have undersupply by a little bit, especially if you aren't playing at the pro level, simply because the Terran army scales really high. Like if you're an alright player, you're gonna lose your Terran army pretty frequently against an even matched Protoss player. I mean, you just have to have better macro mechanics in your Protoss player and just be ahead in supply on them. Simply because Storms and the Colossus, you're typically not going to be able to split against them as well. And I'm not at that level yet either. I'm not saying I'm very good. But if you don't do that, if you're not able to do that, if you don't have the EPM to do that, actually, let's take a look at the EPM right now. It's just going to be really difficult. Like, at the moment, I'm at 148 average EPM, which is high, but not very high at the same time. It's pretty much, I'm approaching a decent player, but I really think, at least in the competitive scene, but I think in order to have the micro mechanics that you need to catch on. I'm not saying it's everything. I mean, look at Goody. Goody's an amazing player, and he has quite low APM or EPM, and in honesty, he's able to make it work. But most players, they need that higher APM or EPM to really take off and show their skill. Going back to the production tab, I have a whole bunch of medevacs on the way. I got 2 medevacs and 2 Vikings on the way. So I guess I'm going countering blind Colossus, which is usually a tech path that's going, and a lot of Terrans have to do that, especially if a really good Protoss decides to hide it. I am simming forward, trying to take vision of the tower. He is warping in, so I am going to have to run those away, which I do decide to do. I do see that he has charge on his zealots, and I didn't click, or I believe I did click on his upgrades, and I saw that he had only 0-1 upgrades on his armor, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. So that means I already have the upgrade lead, which is kind of bizarre and unusual. Typically, when you see a lot of zealots or only zealots being warped in,
Ready to blunder.
Typically that means they went double forge, and that means that they have a lot of zealots. They teched really hard. So because he didn't have that, my first reaction should have been to either continue getting Vikings, because I have to assume that there's Colossus because my scans are missing. I can't find his army composition, and I scan it now and I see High Templar. Immediately I have to stop making Vikings, and immediately I need to start making Ghosts, which I did not do, but I did want to hit a timing where I push. I want to push before it gets while I'm max. And the reason why I'm pushing while I'm max is because I don't want the Protoss army to get max. If he is already max, I don't want him to stack up a whole bunch of minerals, because that's just going to allow him to warp in as many units as he needs. And because of the warp-in mechanism, it really makes it hard for Terran to start pushing and really taking an aggressive advantage towards the late game. You can take a defensive advantage towards the late game as Terran, but you can't take an aggressive one. And a lot of Terrans want to be aggressive. And that's when we're forced to, and here comes the Storms, trying to dodge them, but no, I don't. I take all those, so much damage done. All pretty much one shot. Another Storm going down, not as effective as the first 2 were, but they do take out 2 of my medevacs. I have a huge army still standing. I have taken the supply lead. I am making a whole bunch of units back up home, but I need to start running back to my base before I lose all my units. I think I am not going to be able to. The army's just too big. I need to start focusing down on the Archons, but no, I thought it was too much of a lost cause, and I decided to run back home, or to just abandon ship altogether. My 4th base has gone up now. I still don't know if he has a 3rd or if he has a 4th. I feel like I have a lead, but I am actually suffering by quite a bit. I am behind by 9 supply. Isn't too bad, so it kind of equalized quite a bit. But now he's going to go for the counterattack. I actually don't think he should have gone for a counterattack. I think he should have taken another base, regardless of how many bases he has, and just started macroing up, because I feel like because he won that engagement, he either was even. I couldn't tell if that was an even engagement or not. I mean, yeah, we ended in even supplies, but because of that warping mechanism, it can kind of mess things up and make things look awkward. But no, he is going to lose that Archon. I mean, I'm losing a little bit of SCVs, but not too many. I'm kind of waiting a little bit, trying to get some more Marines and Marauders before I push forward and try to deal with the remaining here. I have lost a lot of supply depots as well as SCVs, but I'm okay with that. I do have the mule mechanics, so that really kind of helps out, at least in the mid to late game, because you start to get a lot of command centers out, and that allows you to kind of catch up even if you lose that supply, and that also frees up supply so you can have a bigger army too. He is sticking to the High Templar tech, as we can see in the production tab, and at this point I think it's really smart to start moving into Colossus, because I'm not going to be devoting any time to making Vikings, because one thing that's kind of really nice about having both of those techs open is that if you have a lot of Archons and High Templar, I need a lot of medevacs to heal my units, because of everything that's going down. I need to have Ghosts to deal with the energy and to deal with the high shields that Archons have and the high energy that that Templars have, and they need to storm. So I'm going to want those medevacs and Ghosts. However, if there's Colossus too, if there's the threat of Colossus, I need to have Vikings, and that really limits the DPS of my army. And if you have both of them open, if I don't hit the perfect amount, if I don't have the right amount of Ghosts, if I don't have the right amount of Vikings, it gets really hard to play from that point. And it's almost like you're forcing Terran at that point to need tanks, but of course they're not going to make tanks, because, well, no one's really seen mech really used effectively. I mean, sure, yeah, some players use mech against Protoss, but it doesn't really work as often, at least in the highest levels, as you would think. And we do see another engagement going down right now. This is kind of a really bad engagement from our Protoss player. Yes, he has a lot of Archons, but I have a huge upgrade advantage. He's only on +2 armor at this point, and no attack, while I'm working on +3 attack, and I have +2 armor already done. And that just makes my army quite a bit more efficient, especially with all the Zealots dead now, and they're not able to absorb that major damage. And now I'm starting to drop a little bit. This drop isn't really going to do too much. It might pick off one of these cannons, but I don't think it's going to be able to pick off 2. I was able to pick off that other cannon, surprisingly. Didn't think that was going to happen, but it will be cleaned up by the remainder of those probes and any warpings he decides to do. Starting to pay attention to my force a little bit. I do have a lot of barracks at the moment. I probably should start adding a couple more barracks and be thinking about taking another base pretty shortly here. I do see that he has 4 bases, and that's when it gets kind of scary, because I scanned it and I finally realized, oh, well, I knew you'd have a 3rd base, but that 4th base, they've been kind of mining for a long time, and I haven't been mining my 4th for very long, or hardly at all. Wow. So when I scanned that, I felt terrible. I mean, I knew from that point that I just have not been active enough on the map like I should have been. So now I'm going to play a little more aggressive from this point forward, simply because I know I have an advantage from killing that army from earlier, and also if I hit before that Colossus switch, or right as those Colossus come out like they are right now, so this is actually really fortunate on my part that I hit at such a nice timing, is that then I don't have to go Colossus at all. It makes it really nice and really allows me. There's a High Templar. I need to snipe that. Took a lot of damage from that storm. Here comes another one. I didn't see that one. Was able to dodge out of a lot of that damage. Oh, but another beautiful storm. Kind of take the blunt out of everything right there. We need to take off that Colossus, but I will not be able to engage those Zealots. I lost a lot of Marines. And that's kind of the majority of your DPS in that situation. I do pick up, which was extremely fortunate. I think I should have gone home at this point. I'm not sure what you guys think. Go ahead and leave a comment if I should have been taking my units back home. I was able to do damage by landing on the top and landing at his third, but in most situations, I think that was a mistake. So yeah, go ahead and leave a comment below if you can, just to kind of put out what you guys think I should have done differently in that position right as that happened. So yeah, I am going to be dropping over to his third. He was able to clean up what was left in his main. I kind of like that little area right there, which gives me that ability. I'm stemming forward, trying to poke at his fourth. He's not able to warp in at this time because he's trying to deal with the units that are sitting at his third phase. This is going to allow me to snipe the remainder of his economy. And now I've taken kind of a really large decisive lead. I don't think he's going to be able to produce any, especially taking out that robotics facility. Really nice. He only has one at the moment. Not enough to really do a major tech switch. I don't need to worry about it at all. Vikings kind of are pointless in making at this point. I am taking my my next base at the moment. Really smart decision.
This better be good.
And he definitely, all of his production buildings have kind of been destroyed. I mean, he doesn't really have much that he can warp in. I mean, he can't spend the money he has, and I do send an army trying to check his fourth. I didn't think he took his fourth, which was kind of bizarre in my opinion, because had he taken that fourth, I think he would have had a chance a lot earlier when I expected him to. I think he would have had a really good chance at catching up back into this game, but now it's a max army versus an army that's barely barely high 80s. I mean, I'm double his supply, just over double his supply. It's gotten to the point where he's not coming back, but I don't think he knows that I took my fourth either, and I don't think that he knows that I'm building my fifth and sixth, and because of that, he kind of thinks that I'm on 3 bases and I'm starting to mine out. I am starting to build some Ghost Academies now. I'm deciding to finish this up with some nukes, because when you get a lead like this, I mean, yeah, go ahead and keep countering, keep pressuring him if you feel like you're able to do it, but don't forget that you still need to keep going up in the tech tree. You still need to make more barracks so you can spend the extra minerals that are income. You still need to make sure that you upgrade. You still need to make sure that you do all these things. Just because you get an advantage doesn't mean that you all of a sudden get to be lazy. I mean, I think a lot of players lose games because they start getting lazy towards the end of the game when they think they won. So just moving forward, kind of for the killing blow now, I don't see any way that he's going to be able to do anything. And yeah, calling down some mules. Give me that healthy economy, and he's warping in some High Templars now, making 4 Archons, but I don't think that's enough for the DPS. Yes, Archons are really good, especially without Ghosts, but just keep your units in the ball, snipe the Archons, and especially if they have Zealot Archon, you don't want to let the Zealots have more surface area to attack on, even though the Archons have splash damage, and just target the Archons really quick. And that really helps you be able to take those out. And yeah, I have pretty much a maxed army back at home. There he goes, leaves the game. Anyways, yeah, leave comments below. Tell me how I can improve, and also give me a comment on what you think I should have done differently at that point in the game. Anyways, good game, everyone, and see you guys soon. Make sure you watch the other videos and subscribe and like, and yeah, see you guys.